Hi, I'm Scoo.
Hi, I'm Scott.
And you're watching an OSD toy review. And remember, there can be only one.
Here we are, born to be kings. We're the princes of the universe.
One of my most favourite movies from the 80s was Highlander. I know it's a little bit camp and cheesy, but I enjoy that movie. I love that movie. I think it's got a great story. And we've got some toys here today, though, based on this movie. Now, what are all these about, Scott?
Okay, well, as everybody knows, Highlander itself is a bit of a cult classic. It spawned a couple of movie sequels, a very successful television spin-off, which had its own spin-off, and then another movie. But for my money, it's the first movie which is the best of the entire franchise.
Yep.
You say it's camp, I think it's perfect myself.
Well, not camp entirely, but it's a story about these immortals.
Yep.
Men who were born mortal, and at some point in their lives they died.
Yep.
And then they were sort of reborn in a way and went on to become immortal.
Yep.
But that wasn't the end of it. They had to fight one another, and the only way to kill another immortal was by removing their head, usually with a sword of some kind. And eventually it would come down to one of these immortals left at the end, and they would thus be rewarded with mortality. It was quite a nice story to it.
Yeah,
and,
along with some sort of level of knowledge from all the people that they'd killed previously, because every time you killed one of them, you absorbed their
kind of
power
yeah.
through the quickening, is my understanding of it, and it seemed to be, at the end, when the winner gets it, they not only get mortality, but they also seem to be super geniuses or understand or feel everyone as well.
Absolutely.
But most of that seemed to play out in Highlander 2, which is really, really bad, so we try to ignore that as much as possible.
Yeah.
Y come a Vegas.
Exactly. But we're looking at the first one today, and we've got two toys here. This is Connor MacLeod.
Connor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod.
Of the Clan MacLeod, and over to the other side here is Victor Kruger, his opponent, his enemy, and one of the oldest immortals.
Best
from
known
the steps
as the
of,
Kurgan.
Yes, as the Kurgan. Now these two toys are by NECA.
They are by NECA. They're from a few years ago, so what you see in these guys is a lot of the older style of NECA, where there's not as much articulation as they're known for now. In a lot of ways, they're sort of a transitional one. They've got a bit more articulation in the upper body, but the lower body is a bit more static. So they're a bit more like some of their other ones from around the same sort of time, the Pirates of the Caribbean film figures that they did. And you can also see that they came with these little bases here, which don't quite interlock, but they sort of stick together. Again, very similar to what they did with the Pirates of the Caribbean ones.
Now looking at it, the detail is actually very good. I think if we look at the faces, the two faces of the characters look a lot like the actors who played them. The Kurgan especially, I mean, look at that outfit. That is amazing. The armor is beautifully done. I love the little fur on top of him here. He looks great.
Yeah, I mean, with the Kurgan, you do have a lot of extra details in terms of the armor. You've got the bones on top of the armor plating. The way that they've attacked, having the fur elements with the sort of tuft of feathers and that sort of thing, it's an interesting way to be able to do it, and you do get that fluffiness, which is very hard to replicate in any other form. So they've done really, really well with what's a very tricky costume element there.
Yeah. What kind of articulation do these guys have?
Okay, so given that they are NECA ones, there's a kind of a mixed bag here. So let's take a look at the Kurgan first. We've got the head on a good ball joint there, so you can get a lot of expression out of the way that his head moves, even just tilted to the side slightly.
Yeah.
It's very cool that way.
Looks cool, yeah.
Arms are on a ball joint there. But we've only got swivels at the elbows, and this is where you can start to see some of that older NECA articulation. He is interesting that he does have a bit of a chest crunch, which again, something not terribly widespread at that particular stage. But once you get below the waist, there's no articulation at all. So with Connor, again, the head is on a ball joint. You do have some limitation to the articulation there due to his hair, which is nicely splayed out there.
Yeah.
So it does rub a little bit on the cape. Again, he has ball joints at the shoulders, and again, just a swivel at the elbow there. I love the fact that we have Connor in his Highlander outfit, because it's the way that the movie series gets its name in the first place. But you do kind of think, well, there's so much more that could have been done with a potential line here. You could have had the same characters in a modern day battle box set, where you'd have Connor in his more
Sneakers and jeans,
Sneakers,
jacket,
jeans, and a
short
trench
hair.
coat sort of thing, you know.
Yeah.
That would have worked, and the Kurgan in his, you know, punk rock sort
Yeah,
of thing.
with the shaved head, you know, and
Exactly.
scar across the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest downfall that we have in that we have these two great figures is that we're missing a third one, and that is Sean Connery as Ramirez. You know, you need him there. He's a missing element, and you so wish that there was a Ramirez figure just to be able to balance it all out. But you know, if this is the only Highlander set that we ever have, it's not a bad one to have.
That's true. But maybe there's more to come. Maybe.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
And here we are, with the princes of the universe.
So there you have it, NECA's own Connor MacLeod and Victor Kruger, aka the Kurgan from Highlander. Two awesome toys. Thanks for bringing them in, Scott.
No worries.
Yeah. If you guys like these toys or don't like them, let us know in the comment section below. We'll see you next time on OSD. Don't forget to subscribe. We're out of here.
Well, one of us is out of here, because there can only be one. Don't lose your head, Highlander!